I just want to state for the record that, to me,
Yeah.
as a nigga of African descent,
Yeah.
I don't see a whole lot of difference between Yaya Toure and Andres Iniesta. One was just bigger and more powerful. That's it. But they were the same player, basically.
Yeah.
If you really break it down,
What
a lot that Iniesta was doing that Yaya Toure could not do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is your midweek review / Arsenal pod / United pod / all the pods this week because it's a short week and we're busy men and we're just getting this out to you. We apologize that we didn't have club-specific podcast for you this midweek, but as we said, we are busy men.
Yeah,
Coach, how are you doing, man?
That's everything Dean said. It's been tough. It's just been we're busy guys, and the thing is as well is that I think it goes unnoticed that everyone else that listens to us, we all appreciate and recognize you guys are busy as well. So having a bit of respite from reality and be able to listen to us just talk shit is cool in it. So we don't want to ever leave you guys sort of short-handed and disappointed, should I say? But yeah, sometimes life just gets on top, but we won't ever abandon you guys. Trust me. That's one thing we won't do. That shit gets hard sometimes. So.
I just really respect how much you think you can speak for me. I love y'all, but I will abandon you quick for $50. I don't even have a high price, to be honest with you. Like if the wrong woman at the gym waved at me that day, I might not record a pod that day. You know how I go. Anyway, let's get into this football, baby, because that's why we're here every week, all the time, 4 times a week, most weeks. Copa del Rey, Barcelona 4, Atletico Madrid 4. Well, the scoreline pretty much says it all. This was insane. A game without midfield play. Coach, what did you see?
I'll be honest with you, yeah. The most interesting thing about this is just how many goals Atleti have scored in the in the
injury time.
In injury time, I think it's close to like 15 or 16. I think this season.
Like I saw Bayer Leverkusen quote tweet them the other day.
Yeah.
And like, that's a long tweet.
So with all of that being said, I cannot wait for the 16th of March, which is the game.
That's when the next game is?
Yeah, that's the one, the Metropolitano game. There's, put it like this, there's almost like a sort of huge contrasting styles of what they both represent, kind of thing. But I think the underlying thing is only one team has Pedri, and Pedri is so fucking good that he literally holds, I feel, more than even Rafinha in some ways plays. He holds the keys to Barcelona season, basically. To me, like, I get, obviously it was enforced for whatever reason, kind of thing. When he came off, I don't feel like Barcelona were the same after that. So
yeah, I mean, he's obviously their best midfielder. Let's just get messy with it. Where do you stand on the whole Pedri versus Bellingham debate?
I'll be honest with you, it's always
actually evaluate this statement. Let me make the question more specific. Jude Bellingham is talented enough to do what Pedri does, so Pedri could never do what Jude does. How do you feel about that statement?
I don't disagree, but I feel like it's disingenuous, because let's like have it right. If Iniesta could have the same like sort of physical attributes as Yaya Toure over what he currently had, he's taken what Yaya Toure has every single time. Most footballers want to be tall and powerful, but be able to actually play football as well. That's what they all want to be able to do, and they say it all the time in the interviews when you talk on.
I just want to state for the record that, to me, as a nigga of African descent, I don't see a whole lot of difference between Yaya Toure and Andres Iniesta. One was just bigger and more powerful. That's it. But they were the same player, basically.
Yeah.
If you really break it down, lot that Iniesta was doing that Yaya Toure could not do.
And that's the point, and that's exactly the point I'm making here, because Pedri and Bellingham are actually quite different players. And I feel like I don't want to lean into this too much, but a lot of this debate to me comes from not a nice place. I feel like some of it is rooted in a little bit of, like, I don't want to say racism, but there's an element that there's an underbelly there.
There's some stereotyping going on.
There's an underbelly there, and
underbelly, yeah.
and trust me, you got to get the Sol Campbell meme up right there, please. But Jude is such a talent. I tell you what was funny. They're both Predator players as well, which is just hilarious to me.
Because
But
Pedri is supposed to be a Copa player, but
yeah, I see it. I actually see it. But Jude is fantastic. Jude can do shit in build up that you wouldn't ever expect if you don't watch him enough, because all you see is the goals. But you watch Jude over 90 minutes, and the guy's everywhere. The guy's absolutely everywhere. What I will say is Pedri's passing, to me, and his pass selection is better than Jude's. But yeah, the goal threat is just so astronomically much more that you can't really compare them in that regard. You're not going to ever play Rodri, not Rodri. So you're not ever going to play Pedri as a false nine. You're just not ever going to do that
well,
at all.
Not, but you could, and it would
be
just fine. It would go very well, actually.
I'm not a fan of it, only because when you play as a false nine, despite you being a false nine, you have to provide a certain level of a goal threat. And
I think Pedri provides goal threat the closer you get into goal. You just have so many other talents, and the best place to accommodate him is a little deeper on the field. And because of his pass selection and his ability to pass at great volume accurately, it's actually the difference between him and Bellingham, and it's not like a coded thing. Like one guy is a more natural tempo setter, and the other guy isn't. But what he lacks in that tempo setting skill, he more than makes up for with his athleticism and his power.
Yeah.
That's the difference between them. I'm not saying no to either one. I would actually love to see them play together someday.
Yeah, I think that would be absolutely wicked, man. What we need to start doing is we start bringing back World 11s like matches, charity matches. That's what we need to start doing.
Back when we did charities, we don't do that shit no more. Now it's niggas like Speed on that shit,
Shout out to Speeder for real. I love that kid. but for real.
Well, let's get back to this game. We've gone way too far into this Pedri Bellingham debate.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid, credit to them for those comeback goals. They scored 2 in this game because they went up 2-0, then were down 4-2, and had to come back at the end.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is like, credit to them for being resilient, but how are you leading 2-0 away from home and going down 4-2? Like, to a Barcelona team that play a high line and leave you space in behind, like, well, I feel like there's criticism for them here. They didn't lose, and it's away from home, so yeah. But there has to be some criticism.
100%, and I think that was probably the next thing I wanted to talk about. Is there's what you call athletic centre backs, and Lenley is not an athletic centre back. Just isn't. Clement Lenley. He's just not.
Well, isn't he? He's a Barcelona cast off for one.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, you wouldn't ever, to me, and I get obviously you move on and shit like that, but players like Godin and the rest of them, those were real men. Those are men that if Atleti ever went 2-0 up away from Barcelona, that's the game there. That's the game.
Everything in the stands.
Yeah, player, ball boys, they're not going to be playing football anyway. For the rest of the game, they're not going to be playing football. That's all And I put it like this: they're going to have to invest in a 1 or 2 new centre backs, I think, in the summer. I get that some of their changes are being enforced because of injuries and everything else, but I really don't think there's an excuse for Atleti to be employing Lenley in 2025. I mean, they shouldn't even be employing Thomas Lemar in 2025, but they still are. So.
Well, does Hansi Flick have an excuse for basically allowing the same thing that happened in the league fixture to happen again in the cup game?
No, he doesn't, and this is why I cannot wait for March 16th. Like, it's going to how they both play it. Yeah, will probably tell us we'll probably know closer where La Liga's heading after that game for sure.
That's a good shot. All right, we've done enough on this game. Let's move over to the other big game in Copa del Rey. Real Sociedad hosted Real Madrid, and it was 1-0 to the Madridistas. Endrick scored a great goal. He was very efficient with his touches in this game. Every time he was on the ball a lot. Every time he was on the ball, he made shit happen. He hit the post once, the finish for the goal. Like, first to bring that pass down from Bellingham. Then the finish with the outside of the boot, just the boy's aesthetics are A1, bro. They're A1.
I think it's crazy that we forget that he plays for Real Madrid. That's how stacked they are. Like, legit, I forget he plays for them.
And my club doesn't have a striker. My club doesn't have one striker, really. Oh my god.
Like I forget he plays for them. I forget Gula plays for them. I forget Diaz plays for them sometimes. Like
Yeah, they rotated everybody.
yeah, literally it was. Do you know what? Funny enough, the two deep in midfielders is arguably their best midfield combination. I think.
Which ones?
Ceballos and Camavinga.
And they've now lost Ceballos for the next 2 months, so his hamstring's done.
Yeah. So
that is going to be more. I mean, I guess it just means you play Modric more. Tchouameni's back in good form, so he plays more. Camavinga is fit again, so he'll play as well. There's Valverde as an option. Jude can always drop back, but I imagine they don't want to do that for the rest of this season. But they have options. But I would say it's a more important loss than people might give it credit for. I feel like Ceballos has been central to a lot of their good form lately.
100%. They don't have another CM like him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I know he loves his spinning and shit like that.
Type.
Yeah, but well, obviously Modric is there, but Modric is someone that you just have to manage his minutes.
He's 58
man.
years old, man.
Yeah, you legit have to just manage his minutes. So yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know how much more they're gonna have to play him, but some of their football might be a little bit staler because they don't have Ceballos, basically. So we'll see how it goes.
I would love to see Arda Güler deeper.
Yeah, but again, that left foot, you get that shit close to the goal, man. That's what football is. Just get the good players that can put the ball in the big white net shit. Get them as close to goal as possible and passing the ball as much as possible. That's what football is.
I don't like these DEI tactics, my brother.
Long live Sean Dyche.
Yeah, but Andre Lunin made a bunch of saves in this game. I don't know that I would say Real Madrid deserves to win it, but they won it, and that's what they do. And there are second legs coming up in each of these ties, so we'll see where these ties end up. But we definitely know that whoever wins it is going to be one of the top teams in La Liga, because this is as fancy as a top four gets in that league. Like Barca, Atleti, Sociedad, Madrid. It's pretty glamorous. Let's scoot over to Italy real quick. Coppa Italia. Juventus won. Empoli won. Empoli threw at the Allianz Stadium on penalties.
Going out of 2 cups in a week is tough, man. That couldn't ever be me.
Bro, I've lived that life before. Yeah. It's not fun. I lived it this year even. It's disgusting. Ew.
Couldn't be me, man.
It's tough, but I get the sense that Thiago Motta, man, this man actually made Juventus temporarily likable. But the way this season has gone, it hasn't been a likable season for me. I'm not particularly enjoying his work. I don't think he's getting the best out of this group. You can't exit the Champions League in what was an upset in that tie as well, then have the same and even worse version. I think Empoli are probably going to get relegated this season. They're that bad in Serie A, and you host them at home, and it probably should have. Looking back on the highlights of that game, it probably shouldn't have even gone to penalties because Empoli had enough chances to actually win it outright. They just, their team struggling against relegation, so they don't have the quality of forward that Juventus has. But yeah, you got Thiago Motta talking about effort and intangibles after the game. I feel like when coaches start talking about shit like that, it's about to be long for him.
You always know it's pointed as well because you rarely ever single out your whole team kind of thing. When you say shit that, you're talking about specific, one or two or group of players kind of thing. So, that's worrying, I'd say. But let's see how it goes, man. Maybe he took the Juventus job too early. Who knows?
He probably did, but that's the nature of the game. If he'd stayed at Bologna, they would have stripped his team anyway. So, I mean, he took his left back for one. So, there you go. The other game in Coppa Italia was Inter hosting Lazio, heavily rotated Inter, and they won that one 2-0. Marko Arnautovic scored a goal that was good enough to cure racism. It was, the volley was tremendous, my brother. I've watched a couple of plays, man. But it's better than the Anthony one from last weekend. It's better than, there've been some good goals. I think this was the best of the midweek goals for sure.
Yeah. I always enjoy when players that are what I'd call them a journeyman kind of thing, show you something in the twilight of their careers, and this is definitely something that is probably the best thing he's done since he's turned 30. I'd say.
Probably.
The
reason why he keeps getting chances, he was always talented. He just was a dickhead for a lot of his career. Probably still is, but who cares? Over to Germany. The DFB Pokal, which happens to be RB Leipzig's how do you even say that? RB Leipzig, this is their tournament. This is the one tournament they've actually won within the country. And they hosted Wolfsburg and won 1-0 thanks to a very cheap penalty, one of those weird-ass handball penalties. Šeško converted, but the real takeaway from this game was how profligate both Šeško and Openda were in this game. They just weren't. I mean, Marco Rosa's team created a bunch of chances, and these two were just so wasteful. Like, it was the kind of performance that made me think to myself, you know what, my Ekitike agenda is the right path to go. Because if the difference is that this guy's supposed to be like a natural gunman, I'm not seeing it, man. Like, these are chances that basic strikers should be finishing. Like, it was. And did you see this stuff, Coach?
I didn't see this stuff, but I think we always have to kind of curb our expectations on these sorts of things, especially when we're linked to players, because then our eyes start to overanalyze sometimes. I think we're all guilty of that, where sometimes you don't have to, like, if you had, like, believe it or not, guys, both times Havertz has moved in his career, Real Madrid were interested in him, both times. And if you was to go off, the ebbs of Kai Havertz's career, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing being linked to that with Real Madrid? Are you crazy, kind of thing? And I feel like we have to kind of use that sort of thinking and analysis when we're looking at players, whether they're linked to your club or not. Basically, Šeško is gonna be fine. I mean, more than fine. It's just about what you like, and the same thing goes for. I still think Openda is going to get a move. I just have this feeling he's going to Liverpool. I really have this feeling he's going to Liverpool, and while he might not create the output of Mo Salah and whatnot, he's the type of signing that you make because there's a chance he could actually explode balls. And games like yesterday they happen, innit? They happen, especially when like it's a midweek game, like second half of the season. All these things like play into how you finish and stuff. Someone like me that plays football, obviously not to anywhere near a high level kind of thing. You have those days where in your head you think you're mentally right, nothing is working. Literally just nothing is working. And sometimes those sorts of streaks can last for like a week, 2 weeks kind of thing. And in football, a week or 2 weeks is literally 60,000 games. So, no, for real, in modern football, that's what it is. So sometimes like it can look like you're just, maybe that's not just who you are kind of thing. And it's just unfortunate. So yeah, I have a bit of sympathy for them in that regard, especially as strikers.
I think I was doing all of that. Yeah. I'm definitely judging it more harshly because my club is supposed to be spending 80 million on this motherfucker in a couple months. However, sometimes when I make these judgments, I want to say I'm doing it with no context. It's like, what do I expect from the average striker in that position in that moment? And boys let me down.
Yeah. I mean, look at what I said about what's his name? Isaac, literally yesterday, like 10 minutes before kickoff. I was like, I hope this, I won't repeat what I said, but I was fuming because I was like, how the watch him be fit for the final. He'll be fit for the final.
Well, yeah, that's why they did it. Duh.
Like
they're saving his legs for a trophy game as opposed to a league game that they're probably going to lose anyway.
But it doesn't matter because they're going to lose that as well. It's fucking Newcastle, bro.
I hope they do. Yeah. I hope they do because they don't deserve to win it. Yeah, not after that shit shower.
So yeah, like. Yeah, sometimes just as strikers that can happen for you, and I feel like we always forget how hard scoring a goal is. It is very, very. And we're seeing it now as fans of the club that we are. We're seeing it now.
You young niggas ain't watch no OG Ronaldo, man. That shit was easy. Anyway, Premier League had a full slate of games in the midweek, and we start at the Amex where Brighton beat Bournemouth 2-1. I didn't see the winning goal in this game because I was so disgusted by the opening goal in this game. It was a penalty converted by João Pedro, but it's one of those bullshit ass penalties where you run to the ball in the box, you kick it away from the goal, then you flop over and they give you the call. I cannot stand those penalties. Like, it just made me feel like I was watching a rigged game, But
he's got a couple of those this season of those penalties, man.
I mean, it's that whole team. They'll call it streetwise because they're still likable. Like once they do something that like fucks Liverpool over in the near future, we'll see people describe them properly. But Hurtler, he's introduced some scumbaggery to that team.
He's a fucking cunt, man. Let's just call it what it is. Apologies, guys. I'm trying my best not to be as vulgar.
Don't worry, Ramadan is coming soon. He won't do this anymore. That Clivert goal though, I heard, I saw it described before I actually saw it, and when I saw it, I was a little underwhelmed because I'm like, well, I mean, we expect this from him by now. Like he's become like a Barclays man, if you will. Like, but yeah, pleased for him. Apparently, did Danny Welbeck score yesterday?
He, to my recollection, he got the winner. Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. Because I kept hearing his name. I just didn't know why. Because again, I didn't watch the winning goal, but I saw the opening goal and I saw Clivert's goal, which was very good, but a consolation nonetheless.
Yeah, I think we just have to. When Danny Welbeck retires, like I need him spoken about and respected in a way that is befitting of the career and the player and to what I've heard about him, the type of person he is, the type of man he is. Like he when I'm talking about rating players of the modern era, he's right up there for me. Not obviously as with the best of the best, but just in general as a professional and what he's done and the fact that all the injury problems he's had and he's still making a fist of an incredibly respectable Premiership career. Like he's fantastic, man. Model professional, man, for real.
Yeah. When he left Arsenal, I had no idea he'd still be kicking around by now. Like, because he was so hurt all the time, you know.
Yep.
So you just wished him luck, and he's gotten some luck in the last couple of years, and the game is better for it. He just got that aura of a nice guy, you know. Like
he's got aura of a nice guy, and he can play. He can like Danny Welbeck has never ever been a shit footballer. Like he's been talented from day one.
A bit of a shit finisher sometimes, but you know.
The finishing has been. Yeah,
if he had finishing, he never would have left United.
It's that simple. If he had finishing, you don't win that title in 11-12.
That ass. Let's head over to Selhurst Park, where Crystal Palace put 4 on Aston Villa. 4-1 was the final score there. We've been telling y'all motherfuckers forever. Unai Emery. It's not jealousy. It's not hate. Like, this motherfucker will not get it done in the league.
Yes.
He's not a league manager, and he's at his level. Put it that way. He's at his level. But the story here is really Crystal Palace. This was apparently the most XG they've ever racked up in a game in the Premier League, right? Selhurst. And they Eddie Nketiah scored finally, which I've been waiting on. So that was awesome news. But let's just get to the main event. Yeah. This Adam Wharton cracker. Tell us about him, coach.
My favorite midfielder in the league outside of, the obvious people is Will Hughes. Very fortunate enough to have seen this guy live more times than I can count. I've seen him, have a whole aura off with a 5-time Champions League winner in Casemiro and batter him like literally 20 meters from my eyes. Like the way the guy moves around the pitch is so impressive. And I say all that to say that one day Adam Wharton will be as good as this guy. I'm dead serious.
Oh, man.
No, for real. Adam Wharton, there's no secrets from anyone in 2025 in top level football. Everybody knew who Adam Wharton was from Blackburn. There's no secrets there at all. But what Adam Wharton is this very rare combination that you get in an English player, which is what I want to call the Michael Carrick gene, where you're over 6 foot tall, but you have poser. And you're able to... There was a pass in this game with his right foot first time.
Weak foot.
I think I've watched I'm not joking. I think I've watched 20 times. And I just want to say that there is no other English midfielder at the base of midfield, even Declan Rice is doing that on their weaker foot. And it's the build up to it and the fact that he hits it first time afterwards. It's such a unique piece of play for an English midfielder.
Put it this way, coach. Sometimes when you watch the game, right, it doesn't matter who's playing. It's a bit like playing a video game sometimes.
Yeah.
Where imagining what you would do in certain moments on the pitch.
Yep.
And watching Adam Wharton play against Villa the other day and just dominate that Teletubby Mans.
Yeah.
It felt like I was playing, he made no wrong decisions. Everything went where it was supposed to go. Everything happened that was supposed to happen. He's just Man, this is why I watch the sport. Like those are my guys.
Mhm.
Like him, players like Pedri. I just those are the guys I love. Like
And I think it's worth noting that this is, I think, is his first start of the season.
yeah, he's been hurt. Yeah,
He's been hurt. So I really hope he's young enough to get over those sort of injury problems. And hopefully he stays fit.
He's 20.
Yeah. So he put it like this: Adam Wharton is the sort of signing that Alex Ferguson makes, like prime Alex Ferguson makes. That's the midfield.
Michael Carrick.
Yeah, there's England finally have, to my mind, a passing number 6, a dependable passing number 6, and it's so important, so important.
Yeah, the legacy got snapped when Wilshere's injuries ruined everything.
Yeah,
and even that was a bit of a
forced.
consolation effort because they kind of dropped him back to save his legs a little bit, and he still couldn't hack it, unfortunately. But
no,
pretty much since him, there hasn't really been Calvin Phillips kind of faked it for a bit, then Pep exposed him.
I don't even want to talk about Calvin Phillips. Was never that guy, man. Like let's just have it right.
I said he faked it. He faked it. I never saw it from him either. Because that whole Leeds murder ball shit was whatever. Yeah. Let's we've done enough Wharton glazing on the last day of Black History Month in America. So let's move on to some black people. Well, shout out Boom Boom Mateta. Because this whole the whole energy surrounding him and the club, and like it's hard not to love it, man.
I love him. I love him, man. He is like, we're very fortunate enough to have 3 prime black African or of African descent Barclays men that are all bald at the same time in the Premier League.
I don't think he's a real bald though. I think he's just doing it for the vibes.
He's just got purpose, which makes it even more impressive. Like
fucking weird ass Ashley Young shit. What's he gonna do next? Eat some bird shit?
Oh, gosh, don't remind me. So Palace's attack right now, I think this is the best it's looked, just in terms of profile wise, since Olise left. I think the only thing that could make it better is if Sarr was left footed.
Palace got like 5 niggas that would walk into my team right now.
This is what I'm saying.
Sick.
This is what I'm saying, man. Like Eze isn't playing in midfield anymore. He's part of the attack, and he has been like a lot of the time anyway. But Glasnow's got a good balance there. Mateta is he's a one-touch finisher. All of his goals pretty much are within the 12-yard box. But every so often he has to step out of his comfort zone. He's more than happy to. That's what I love about him. He's he gets the job done. And I think he's the first Palace player, I think, to ever score a hat-trick for them in the Premier League as well. Andy Johnson never done that, to my recollection. And Johnson scored quite a few goals.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have guessed that. I figured like Wilfred Zaha or somebody did that shit first.
Yeah, no, Zaha is obviously their top scorer in the Premier League history, but Mateta stays there long enough, he probably will break that as well.
He should lap him easy. I was looking at those numbers actually. I think he should catch him in the next, if things are going the way they're going now, 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah,
it's not, the gap isn't that big, and in way less games. Let's go over to the Molyneux where Wolves scored 1 and Fulham scored 2. The highlight for me was that volley from Yao Gomez for the. You just don't see people have that much space in the box to volley a ball that often. It was just very nice to look at.
I think as well. Did you see? It was him actually that went up to Adama as well, and was like, realized, holding a second, it's fucking Adama. What am I doing squaring up to him? He redirected his anger to someone in the distance. I don't know.
Hey, I respect the man that knows his limits. You just, that's not smoke you want, because first off, it's the slipperiest smoke in the 5 kingdoms, my nigga. Like that baby I get on you, it's over for you like a Diddy party, my nigga.
Yeah.
Like don't play with my boy. But yeah, I feel like I'm just really impressed with Marco Silva and Fulham this season. I mean, we've been saying this all season long, but for me, the most impressive aspect of this win away from home is that they rotated a bunch. And they didn't really miss a beat. Like Wolves played well though. I'll give them that. Yeah. All right. You don't got much to say about this. Let's move on to Chelsea 4, Southampton 0. Christopher Nkunku got his first goal at Stamford Bridge, which is weird. At this point, he's been underperforming there for long enough that I feel like, okay, maybe some of it is his fault. Because I just expected him to be so much better than he's been at Chelsea. I don't understand why he's not doing more there. I don't know. I think he's better than what he's shown there.
Yeah, I won't lie to you. I don't think he was ever forced to go Chelsea as well, because either it's Christopher Nkunku. He had these pickup clubs if you really
Yeah.
wanted to. So
Yeah.
I don't feel any sympathy for him at all. So yeah, him being essentially just a what do you call it, a thingy vessel, a money laundering vessel for Chelsea, which what he will turn out to be. Have no sympathy for him, but yeah, good on you for getting your first goal in basically March. Yeah,
That's insane. Yeah, they've turned him into a Conference League champion, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
On the other hand, what's his face? Cole Palmer.
Yep.
I think it's like 4 weeks straight that he's blanked on the goals and assists. I thought that was the whole point of him. He's like super productive and he's better than all these other players I like. Like, what's going on, man? Like, he can't carry a team.
Yeah, I mean,
other niggas I like.
Again, I mean, he's got time to visit Vibes Cartel, so I hear it. So like, priority, he's got all his priorities right, because yeah, Vibes Cartel is Vibes Cartel, and that's the world boss. So I hear it. but yeah, he's a player to me that I still really really love. But he's hitting the, how old is he again? He's what, 21, 22?
He's young. He's young.
Yeah, so he is okay. He's 22. He's going to be 23 end of the season, pretty much.
Okay.
It's normal. I think because of his numbers, people have sort of like, oh yeah, he has to be this guy. I mean, look, he's got 20 goals and assists this season. Like, that's insane. Like, absolutely. But any one of our forwards finish with that this season, and I'll be over the moon. But again, it has to come with performances as well, because Chelsea don't have. Put it like this: is there a Chelsea defender that you like, Dean?
Nope, not even the light skin ones.
Yeah, so again, there's no good Chelsea defender right now at all. Maybe Gusto, but whatever. And then
I like him.
He's a good footballer, to be fair, but everyone else is shit in it, as far as I'm concerned. Like, and then their goalkeepers are shit. And then you have their midfield. Caicedo is a shit kicking cunt who is incredibly overrated and is going to hurt someone. He made a tackle on Wednesday, actually, where I was like, I didn't understand in front of the ref, why are you hitting someone's shins with such ferocity when you're 3-0 up?
He's already injured people. Like, he injured Martinelli at the end of like 2 seasons ago when he was at Brighton.
Yeah. So, but he's just a cunt. And Enzo Fernandez, I don't even know what he is, but he's just fat. So now you have your dependent.
He's spicy Tillemans. That's what he is.
Basically, yeah. So now you have Cole Palmer, who is so obviously better than everybody else. And if all you're offering is goals and assists, then bro, you might as well just play up front, then, innit? But you can't play in that position and not offer an overall good performance as well, which I haven't seen from him in a while. That's just my honest assessment of him.
Well, I could not say it better. We're going to breeze right through this one, but Brentford hosted Everton, and it was a 1-1 draw. I heard Beto had a crazy miss in this, but
I didn't get to see it. Actually,
I'm just happy he scored at all, because when we first had seen him in this league, I didn't think he would ever score. So, all his misses are forgiven for me. And he seems like a nice guy. He seems so smiley and shit. I like him. I'm happy for him.
Just happy to be here, man.
Tottenham hosted Manchester City and lost 1-0. Like, this is usually a game we can rely on Tottenham to win. But I think they've reversed their own juju after that bullshit they pulled last season, where they basically laid down for them. So now they'll never beat City again, it looks like. And Haaland came back. Haaland scored. So, like, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think I'm never ever. I don't think I'm ever going to get over what they did last season, only because you know the players were in on it just as much as the fans were. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were. It's just weird, because it's not. To me, the rivalry isn't as vicious as it used to be. What business do you have playing that way? Like, we don't care about you like that. Like, we don't care about that. So for you to do that, that's your claim to fame, if you like, your claim to whatever. Tottenham only exists because of Arsenal. Let's be real. Like, you only exist because of us.
I just think it's weird to not want to win football games. That's all I got. I just think it's weird,
I still can't believe how disgusted Ange was. Like that. I actually thought he would have left in the summer because of that.
I'm surprised he's still there. He was heartbroken that day. Like, something changed for him that day.
Yeah, 100%.
A job is a job. A job is a job. This one, it feels like I get the sense that the season has gone badly enough of the past couple weeks. I mean, they've kind of recovered a little bit, but they have to prioritize the other competitions they're in at this point. Let's go for the cup game. So, because it felt like they probably could have used a little more of their manpower than they did in this game, but whatever. They were better than City in the second half. I'll give them that. But that was about it. All right. Manchester United 3, Ipswich 2. And
Actually,
this
wait.
is
So before we move on from that, actually, so there was something actually that happened again, really interesting. Haaland scored, right, second goal, and they took it away. But what was communicated to the commentary team and what was communicated from, should I say, Stockley Park, was that the goal was going to stand, but they took the goal away. Literally, as they're saying that, I think it's Saar misses a header from like 11 yards out, and if he scores that, that's the game done. It's a 1-1 draw. It was the strangest, most bizarre shit, and I was like, if that's what Stockley Park is saying, where was the breakdown in communication there? Which I have to let you guys know, VAR is a mess, guys. It really is.
And that section of the podcast was brought to you by FanDuel. Because these niggas rigging shit. That's what I'm hearing. Like, that just sounds rigged to me, but I'm going to have to go look that up. I missed that little incident at the end of the game. Yeah. Manchester United 3, Ipswich 2 at Old Trafford. This did not start well. Patrick Dorgu and Andrew Onana got a little too... I'm not going Jamie Carragher with it. Yeah. But they messed up, and Jaden Philogene basically strolled it in. Then Patrick Dorgu got a red card for a tackle that was clearly a red. I don't really understand. I feel like we've reached this point in the history of the game. I don't know if it's because of VAR, but every call is arguable at this point.
Yep.
Every call. And I think there should be some calls that we can all look at as a society and say, that was a bad tackle. He should not have done that. It's right that the referee gave him a red card. I think that Dorgu tackle fits under that category.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm not crazy. But in any event, despite the red card, United managed to win this game, coming from behind 3-2, thanks to two of the guys that everyone has been wanting to get rid of, it seems like forever, Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire with the winner. This is weird. It feels a bit like damning someone with faint praise, but this is maybe my favorite Bruno season since he's been at that club. I feel like he's actually done a lot of, like, he's played in so many areas of the pitch, especially the deep work that he's been doing since Amarin showed up. I've just been really impressed by that because I know that in his heart of hearts, he just wants to go crazy. He's actually been very disciplined. And I know it hasn't led to many wins or whatever, but it's been a real... Not to get corny with it, it's felt like a real captain's season from him. Carrying a shit fucking team.
You're absolutely spot on. You're absolutely spot on, because the fact that it's annoying Roy Keane is what is more than anything, is what that's what it means to me. It means a lot more to me because of that. But look, man, I am Bruno's biggest hater. That will never change. But he has done things that you expect of a captain. Even though look, there's so many things about his game that I just dislike, but especially his petulance, to be honest. But he's rolled his socks up more than anything. He's rolled his socks up, and I think you can't praise the fish for swimming and all that shit. You're the captain's supposed to know, but United is such a mess and such a shit show from top to bottom. Some of the shit that I'm hearing out of the club, you guys would be you'd be mortified that a club that, to my mind, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, they essentially print money. United are still so huge. They still generate so much money, kind of thing. But some of the shit that they're doing and considering, kind of thing, it doesn't make sense that a club of that stature is behaving this way, on and off the pitch. So in the shit show of a season where United were 15th before this game, Bruno has given United fans something to share about, something at least, and you have to respect that.
Absolutely. Let's move on to Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0 from Anfield. The big headline before this game, or right before the game, was Alexander Isak not appearing. We already kind of talked about that. And for me, and I'm not going to congratulate Liverpool until it's mathematically done, but they should be able to close this out. All things being equal. That said, this is a perfect example of the luck that they've had this season. And saying that team is lucky is not discounting how good they are. Liverpool have also been very good this season, but they've been very lucky this season. I can't think of many big tests that they've been through where they faced the full complement of the other team. Every time they showed up to a big game, some shit like Isak not being there, or Saliba not being there, or Odegaard not being there, or Vinicius Jr. not being there, or Leipzig deciding that, we're actually going to be shit this season. Happening, And you can only play who's in front of you, but these are the things that swing a title.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense, and that's before we get into red cards and the lack of depth among the teams that are chasing them. Congratulations to them to this point, but they still got to close it out. But yeah, Newcastle didn't really offer much of a fight in this game. Man.
Newcastle are dickheads, first of all. Like, it's straight up on us. Newcastle are dickheads, and they think, like, the fact they think they have a chance in the Carling Cup final just makes me laugh, honestly. Like, don't rock up to Anfield with Callum Wilson, bro. Like, don't take the piss. Like, this is Premier League football here.
Callum Wilson was cooked when he was at Bournemouth, man.
Like he's just a wanker. Like, you got Harvey Barnes on the bench.
But you know what, though?
Go on.
I would have started Callum Wilson at Nottingham Forest for Arsenal.
Do you know a funny story? When we were really shit, I think it was Emery's last year or maybe Arteta's first year, we were actually linked with him.
I know. I remember. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But I knew it would never happen because of all the injuries he'd had to that point already.
Mm-hmm.
Teta has his limits on injuries. So you got to be like super Calafiori handsome for him to overlook that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And look how that's working out. Man. But yeah, there's no way Liverpool fucked this up. Let's just keep it pushing.
Absolutely. Slot said some shit about Nunez, talking about that's not like he apparently 2 weeks in a row, something like he just hasn't been training well enough or something. I don't know, but that's always interesting to me when you're in that sort of position that Liverpool are in, and you still got time to dig out players, man. Pause. Like, I think that's, I don't know if that's commendable or not. Part of me feels like it is, but also it's just like, okay.
It feels like a bit much, but at the end of the day, his job is not just to win; it's also to develop these players. Mm-hmm. And even us as neutral observers, fans, whatever, we can see it. Like Nunez, I think the one thing we've always loved about him, the reason why we hype him on this podcast, is because he plays with enthusiasm.
Yeah,
he plays with the memory of a goldfish. And in the games that Slot is talking about, I think it was this game and the prior game. Basically, he missed a chance, then he went into his shell, which is something I've never really seen as part of his game. Like, no matter how bad he was or how bad his finishing was, because generally he's pretty much okay in general play, he's always kept going.
Yeah,
and you could see his head drop, and it stands out even more when your head drops when the team is winning.
Yeah,
So I think he's right to call him out for sure. But at the end of the day, they're selling him this summer. That's for damn sure. Like, if they can help it, they're not going into. He's wearing Openda's shirt,
basically.
Oh man, West Ham hosted Leicester City, and honestly, I watched the first half of this in which both goals were scored. Thomas Souček and I think Jared Bowen, which is what you'd expect when West Ham are winning a game. But this was, to be frank, pointless. Leicester City are just hurry up and die. That's all I got. Like, I feel like we reached a point in the season where we don't have to pay attention to them anymore because you know what they are.
Just put the parachute payment in the bag, man.
Put the parachute payments in the bag. Then use the bag to parachute out the plane.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. And finally, from the Premier League this week, Nottingham Forest in third place hosted Arsenal at the City Ground, and the game ended goalless. The best chance of the game fell to Ricardo Calafiori, who hit the inside of the post after a very nifty turn in Nottingham Forest's box. But he also had to go off at halftime because he got a yellow card in the first minute of the game. And Mikel Arteta has been scarred. He's not living through that again for the rest of the season if he can help it. So the best attacker on the field on the day had to go off at halftime, and Kieran Tierney came out for him. But otherwise, from a Arsenal perspective, Coach, I would say it wasn't a great performance by any means. Arsenal clearly need a striking profile because it's kind of pathetic how much we miss that sort of profile. Someone that just knows how to make the right runs at the right time. Like, that's just missing. And there's no two ways about it. The only time Mikel Merino actually popped up on your screen was when he dropped back into midfield where he's a little more comfortable. Yeah. And no one really ran beyond him because we don't really have those profiles on the team either. Declan Rice did a bit of it. Calafiori did a bit of it. But end of the day, I'm not really sure that's the most optimal use of either of those players. Ultimately, though, improved performance from the West Ham performance at home at the Emirates, but still not good enough to get a goal. And if you don't score goals, you probably won't win a lot of games. What did you see here, Coach?
I saw a team that hasn't, during the 90 minutes at least, they just don't give up. I don't think I've seen an Arsenal team give up in a very long time, to be honest. That just genuinely give up. And I think just sitting back and just looking at it from like as objective as he can possibly can, like blocking out all the noise. Arteta has put us in a position where we are absolutely devastated that we are not winning the league. Like, devastated. That's just the harsh reality of it. Like, it's been a very weird week for me as an Arsenal fan. And the position that we're in is down to so many of the good decisions that he's made, so many good decisions that the club has made as well. But then on the flip side, we're also in a position because some of the decisions he's made that are not so good, and the same thing for the club as well, that haven't been so good as well. So what we saw on the pitch on Thursday, I feel like is an amalgamation of absolutely everything. A team that is rock solid defensively, that can move the ball through the phases to the edge of your box against any sort of defensive configuration, but then not making a move last summer or in January for like some really good attackers or attacking depth, gets you that sort of performance that you got on Saturday, and you got on Wednesday as well.
But caveat, who legislates? Who plans for losing this many players in one?
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's absolutely that's absolute facts. But that's why I'm talking about decisions as well, because I do feel as well,
even if like one of the injured players was still around, title race is still on. Just one of them, even if it was Martinelli just healthy, I'm still a little more delusional about this. But to lose your starting three, to lose their backup, like, oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah, no.
And that's not to say the club doesn't deserve criticism, but I'm just saying, like, you really can't plan for some shit like this. Like, imagine Liverpool without Salah, Gakpo, Diaz, and Jota.
Yeah.
They're not in the position they're in right now.
You know what's crazy?
So we need to extend some grace, I think.
No, you're absolutely spot on, but this is why I'm saying we have to take a balanced view here, because for all of the good that we have in the position that we're in, kind of thing, the reason why we're devastated is because the standards have been raised. So that's ultimately a positive. It's a positive. But when we're here, kind of thing, you have to look at what else can we do. And that's why I'm not criticizing the players. I'm barely criticizing Arteta, even though he does deserve some blame, kind of thing. But the simple fact is, we're at this level with these players and these performances because of everything that's gone on, basically. Like, we are, put it like this, I wasn't ever worried about conceding yesterday. I just wasn't. My thing was, how many chances are we going to create today? Like, genuinely, and it was, that's the issue I'm at. So that's the where I'm at with this. So when we go, I don't want to talk about the transfer window, but let's just say when we go into the summer kind of thing, how do we plan for this part of the season where players might be a little bit leggy? Maybe we don't have Dubai this next year, which might be a good thing. Maybe we don't get like people getting hamstring injuries and shit. But how do we plan so that the attacking depth, basically, whether it's forwards or attacking midfielders, are able to still produce at this stage of the season? Because Szoboszlai was doing fuck all first half of the season, goals and assists wise, and now he's found really important goals in this year. Do you know what I'm saying? How do I'm not using Liverpool as a template, but how do we get that out of our players next season for this half of the for this side of the season? Because last season we did it, you know what I'm saying? But then we sort of regressed now. So how do we do it again next season?
The regression is clear. Like when all the players that did that last season are missing, the team is not going to be as good. It's just, you can't out tactic or strategize. I can't even call it talent at this point. It's just basic profiles. Like, there was just nobody out there that knows how to make the movements that will threaten center backs. I don't know what I can demand of the manager, and we're not disagreeing on anything here. I'm just exasperated, but at the same time, I'm understanding. And if I feel sorry, the most sympathy I have for anyone in this equation, players, management, ownership, the board, whatever, it's Arteta.
Yeah.
He's the one I feel the most sorry for, because I've never met a manager that didn't want more players. Simple as that. So even if he agreed to let certain people go, the club didn't do enough to support him. And he's more than, people won't ever give a manager credit for being good at what he does until he wins certain things. But short of actually winning certain things, I have no doubts about this man. He is a hell of a manager, and he's the reason why I can deal with a season like this in the hope that next season will be better.
Can I ask? I want to throw the cat amongst the pigeons here.
Sure.
What do you think of the fact of the reports that he pushed for both Calafiori and Marino, despite knowing that we still needed at least one forward? Like, what do you make of that?
I would say, again, managers want players.
Mm-hmm.
If Calafiori and Marino are players that he considered potentially additive to his project
mm-hmm.
or crucial to his project, you don't pass up the opportunity to get those players in the building, because it might stop you from getting a hypothetical striker that we weren't even really linked with. Because before Calafiori and Marino were linked last summer, I recall that we had attempted to trigger Šeško's release clause.
Mm-hmm.
So the club had a plan to get that striker that we feel like we're currently missing. But the one we wanted said, I'm afraid of Kai Havertz. I want more playing time in Leipzig. And he stayed. So it's like, you're not going to let the club just sit on the money. It's like, well, if the money's still there and we can still spend it, bring in players that are additive to my project. That's the way I view it. I don't view it as him saying, oh, I want these players at the expense of potentially getting a forward signing. That's not the way I view it. It was just, this is what is available to me on the market at this time. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. So and that's, it's a criticism that I hear a lot. And it's just, it always baffles me that ultimately, so Josh, to me, in my mind, his job is to sign the check, basically. Like, with regards to all the interviews and stuff that he talks about, I feel like because football isn't his arena, I feel like he ultimately defers to Arteta, he defers to whoever else, kind of thing. Basically, the English people or the Europeans. He defers to Europeans because at the end of the day, he's a Yank, innit? So, regardless of what people can say, if he's not willing to sign the check for what it takes to get X player or Y player, kind of thing, you can't really say, oh yeah, but he found a way to get Calafiori, he found a way to get Marino. Yeah, because the teams were willing to sell more than anything.
And every deal is different.
Yeah.
Every deal is different. Like, those deals happen because they could happen. Šeško clearly is something Arsenal wanted to happen, and it didn't happen because the player didn't feel ready to make the move. Now, I suppose the next criticism is that, well, then move to a different forward target. It's like, well, the specificity of his choices up to this point got us to where we are, where you have these expectations of him. Maybe you should let the manager buy the players that he wants to fail with.
Yeah.
That's why I view it. It can't just be, well, because none of these strikers are even like guaranteed to bang when you buy them anyway. It's not as if these are guaranteed. Like, it'd be nicer to have them than to be in the position Arsenal are currently in. But none of this shit is guaranteed. So why are we... And, it's frustration, it's emotion. That's kind of why we love this shit. So I understand.
So what about Watkins? Because, again, there's always Chinese whips and stuff like that. But look, we clearly did want him. Hence why the conversations happened. But us not putting up the extra 20 million.
I honestly don't think it was really about the money. Really, like, do you think Unai Emery was going to start a season with two strikers and let both of them go in the same window, just because they got some other strikers in of a different profile? Asensio is not a center forward. Rashford has played at center forward, but he's not a center forward.
It's only Marlon.
Once the Duran deal happened, Watkins was not happening at any price. We would have had to overpay beyond. It wasn't just about 20 million at that point. You're talking like a 30, 40 overpay to get him out of there. For a 29-year-old that runs with stiff hips, I'm good, man. I'm good, bro. I'm good. But we've done quite enough on Arsenal. We're clearly still in mourning. We'll be doing more on future Arsenal editions. We sort of went a little long on this. Hey, Coach, you have some questions though before we move on.
I was gonna say. So shout out to Sarah Schneider. She again on Blue Sky asked, to my recollection, what has been our I refuse to be a doomer. Sorry, Sarah Schneider. My bad. I refuse to be a doomer. What is your favourite moment of the season so far? 5-1 against City, the obvious answer. I also enjoy remembering winning at Villa Park, the away North London derby, the 1-5 against Sporting, and Saka's form in general at the beginning of the season. So yeah, Dean, what has been your favourite moment of the season so far?
Well, I'm not selfish like you, and I can actually answer the questions I'm asked. So my favourite one moment this season was Miles Lewis-Skelly scoring against City in the
Okay.
subsequent celebration. That was the moment that I yelled the most this season.
Yeah.
Like, I yelled so loud. I was in Nigeria when it happened, so it was fucking awesome. It was great. Great moment.
Okay, my one favorite moment this season was North London derby at home. I'm gonna say, specifically it's Miles Lewis-Skelly again. Actually, funny enough, the Trossard goal and then him riling up the Spurs fans afterwards, calling them pussios. That was great. It was good old fashioned, like just derby day shithousing.
Can't wait for us to sell Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard so we can appoint our new captain ASAP. Next question, please. We're almost at an hour.
Yeah. So Tommy, again, an actual member of the pod, has asked. We got a new one from Mobo as well, actually. She's
gotta speed this shit up.
Mobo just said the vibes are not good. The vibes are stressed. Okay, fair enough. Shout out to you, Mobo. Yeah, Tommy goes, looking at the different predicaments Arsenal, United, Chelsea and City are in, how much blame do the managers deserve and how much is just circumstance and how much is players being shit or injured?
Every case, it's, and I hate to hit you with the depends, Tommy, but, it all depends. There's not a lot of, it's always a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. And it's different degrees depending on, the context. At United, I would say I've seen sort of evidence that Ruben Amorim isn't necessarily deploying his assets in the best manner, but the surrounding environment is so shit that I don't really have time for people shitting on the guy while the team is currently 15th and the vibes are bad at the club and the old man in charge of shit is firing everybody every other day, so there's that. At Chelsea, it's crazy that they spent all that money, but objectively speaking, if we're not being assholes about it, their squad kind of sucks. It's imbalanced. Like Nicholas Jackson went out, and now they're having to use Pedro Neto as a center forward, which is not really his bag, but he's done a better job than whoever they were putting there.
Sorry, like I'm not being objective about it. He has to be objective about it. £1.4 billion.
I know, it's crazy. Like it's crazy, but when you look at the squad, like you asked me earlier, which central defender from Chelsea would you want?
What defender in general or goalkeeper?
There you go.
Okay, let's put it like this shit. Any other club on the planet, you could be Accrington Stanley, right? Doesn't matter who you are. If you spend £1.4 billion, sorry,
hurry it up.
I'm just saying, if you have £1.4 billion, you should have one good defender in your squad.
And so how much of the blame are you going to put on Maresca for that?
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird, but it all depends. It's a combination of a bunch of factors, Tommy, and you know this. If I thought you didn't know the answer to this question, you would not be on the podcast, Tommy. Okay. So the next time you write a question in, bring your brain with you. Fucking United fans, man, with their stupid ass questions. I can't stand these niggas, man. Why we let this nigga on the podcast?
All right, let's get off.
I'm just mad, bro. I'm mad. Before we get out real quick, this next weekend, a lot of really dope upcoming games. So, Coach, I'm going to say the game. You go. No thinking. You just going to pick the winner. You're going to pick the winner.
All of you to assume that I actually think, but okay, fair enough.
All right, here we go. Betis hosts Madrid. Who wins?
Madrid win.
Atletico hosts Athletic Bilbao.
Draw.
Good call. Barcelona hosts Real Sociedad.
Barcelona win.
I like that. Stuttgart hosts Bayern.
Bayern Munich win. Yeah.
Big win or little win?
I'm going to go 2-0.
Sounds right. Frankfurt hosts Leverkusen. Does my boy Hugo Ekitike score?
I'm going to go for Frankfurt win. Ekitike does score an assist.
Hell yeah. I love it. I cannot disagree with you. You're such a prophet. St. Pauli hosts Dortmund in a hipster derby. Anything can happen.
Dortmund draw. This will be a draw.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm not going to make you pick that one.
It's a draw.
Top of the table in Serie A. Napoli Inter. Is this a title decider, I guess? I mean, it's a 6-pointer essentially, right?
I'm going to go Inter 2-1.
Yes, sir. Roma hosts Como. That man you hate, sex fiberglass. He's doing bits down there. So I put this one for Tosin. You don't have to say nothing about it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think Como can win that.
Hell yeah, I think so too. Milan hosts Lazio. Just
Lazio
put
win.
this on because we recognize the names. I don't really care what happens.
Lazio win. I don't have any faith in Milan anymore. Done.
PSG hosts your boys Lille in Liga.
Yeah, PSG win, man. They've hit a groove now, man. They've hit a groove.
Yeah, they're locked in. They're locked in for sure. Lyon hosts our boys Brest.
Lyon win.
Okay.
They were unlucky last week.
And the Nasty Men host Nantes.
Nasty Men FC win.
All right. That was your midweek preview and your Arsenal bitching session. For Coach, this has been Deen. You know what to tell the people.
Peace.
Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.